I'd like you to think about the human body as a spacesuit. If your spacesuit isn't designed for you to explore the sun, you can't get deeper into the sun. If your spacesuit isn't designed for you to withstand rain, hail, whatever else you're experiencing on different planets, then you can't experience it. You're quite limited. You can't go around and explore those planets. Earth, we require this human body spacesuit. And this human spacesuit allows us to experience not only this planet, but beyond it, around it, the energy that surrounds it. When I was little, I really loved the idea of telekinesis and telepathy. I remember I would rub my hands together and try to get an electric bubble going on and try to move objects around. And I used to sit and close my eyes and imagine a person and imagine a line between them and try to send them a message. But obviously as a kid, I would do that in a very obvious sense of words. Whereas now I've realised that words it's just a vessel. It's more energy. Energy is the main thing that we try to convey. I'll get into that a bit more if I feel called. But as a child I was quite aware of the human body being a spacesuit, but this magnetic field around us actually allowing us to explore different parts of experience. And I particularly remember as I was asleep when I was younger, I used to sleep a lot on my front. And during my sleep, quite often I would start floating, and I would float up and up and up. And I remember I would see my house getting smaller, and the planet shrinking, and going out and seeing more planets, and these orbs. I would see loads of orbs in this dark abyss. And I think it's probably what's caused my fascination with space and infinity. But it's interesting as I'm getting older and I'm understanding the correlation behind why that might have happened and how that unlocks different states and places for me to visit that are beyond Earth and where my actual physical body, my spacesuit lies. I had a few experiences this year where I couldn't really tell what was a dream and what was real, and the conversations I've had with people or haven't had, and I was coming from a place of fear a lot of the time, and I was encouraged to speak to a specialist about it. And it's interesting, only now I'm under examination to understand why, but I'm coming from a place of curiosity rather than fear, because I want to be able to manage it and see what it's like. But it's interesting, one of the assumptions of the doctors are that the reason why I have those is because I'm in states when I'm asleep where I don't breathe, and I'm temporarily dead, you could say. I'm just not breathing. It's that little limbo between you actually are before you've checked out. And I get to experience all these different states of being, all these different locations that aren't accessible by this human spacesuit. And I've noticed actually that the mind takes you to these different places. The more present you are, the less intimidating and scary it becomes. The more you project onto it, the more it actually manifests as that. If you're afraid, you're going to project monsters. The other day I actually had an experience where I've been feeling a little bit down lately, and like a flame would grow, that sadness grew into some sort of despair, and I physically remember the sensation of feeling like I'm being pulled down, and it was very uncomfortable, but it made me really become a lot more conscious of the fact that the mind and the state of being takes you to these different places. And the reason I speak about the spacesuit is because how comfortable you are in the spacesuit allows you to explore all these different states and these states of being and places beyond the body with ease. That's why health is so important. I stopped eating meat a few years ago when I was 15, 16, and the reason being was because I felt so dense. I felt it was an anchor keeping me here on the earth in a very limiting way. So I stopped eating it because it was uncomfortable, and since doing so I feel a lot lighter energetically. And it's just because my spacesuit doesn't require that in that degree. But it's interesting to see how the body can actually take you into these different places. You know, I was really interested as a child in telekinesis because I was aware of that. I still do believe in it, and I love to, in this lifetime, be able to move an object with my hands. I definitely do feel like we are all connected in some sort of way. But it's interesting. We disregard this human body as something very gross and something very materialistic and almost detaching ourselves from it, but actually that's part of the equation. Space isn't the sort of thing you must get away from. It isn't something you must disregard and go off into the higher planes or the lower planes or the planes that are left or right. You know, this is a beautiful place to ground. This is like a little space shuttle. It's very interesting. But yeah, I've spoken for quite a while. It's ironic, I'm speaking about sleep and I'm in my pyjamas because I'm going to go to sleep again. But yeah, the moments of near death while you're still alive can reveal a lot, but I think we should give a bit more credit to this human body and this human experience, and yeah. Right. Good night, everyone.